Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let Her Cook, brought to you by BSCN. I'm Jackie Dutton, as usual, your hostess with the mostest and curator of spiciest takes here in the crypto space. Today is Monday, so if you're new here, welcome. And if you are not, welcome back. Mondays is our prediction market day where we kind of go over some things on call sheet as well as maybe we'll flip over to Polymarket and see kind of what's cooking on there because we love a good degenerate play here in this space and here on Let Her Cook. So we're going to start with the trending page of call sheet as usual. And please forgive my voice. I was screaming on roller coasters all weekend and did not think that I would lose my voice today, but it's kind of in and out. It's about as stable as the crypto market lately. I have seen Bitcoin at 94,000. So there was a bet that we talked about last week about crypto and which one would actually have the best return from year to year. So we're talking December 31st to December 31st. And it looks like Bitcoin is probably going to win that race, but it also if Bitcoin actually stays around this 95,000 area and XRP does not completely shit the bed, it could actually be XRP that actually wins out. So that'll be a really interesting one to kind of keep track of. And if you're curious, I think I made a clip about that, and you can find that on our X page. So let's start with the main topic for the day. How many House votes will the bill to unseal the Epstein records receive? All right. Um, the last time this particular bet came to the floor, they didn't pass it. I don't know if that was the Senate or the House, but think about how many people are actually connected to the implication of this information finally being released. Do I think that when we finally get some version of the Epstein files that it will be so ridiculously redacted that like there will be names and no one will know who it is? That's more likely, right? Um but this how many House votes? I honestly, guys, my tinfoil hat is that they actually don't end up passing it, even though Trump has abruptly urged House Republicans to support a measure forcing the Justice Department to release the Jeffrey Epstein related files after previously trying to block it. Um, you know, we'll see. We'll see where this ends up going. But my personal opinion is that at the last minute, someone will rug us and it will just be, oh gosh, and let's be so angry about this, and I can't believe that all of you guys didn't pass this, and you're not going to release this after all. I think there's the swamp is deep, right? The roots of this corruption and this kind of disgusting shit goes way deep. And although these people work for us and we all definitely want to see these files and everything in it, the good, bad, and the ugly, consequently, I don't know if it's actually gonna pass. If it does, again, heavily, heavily redacted. As usual, the Monday Night Football game of the week, is, I believe, Dallas or somebody in Las Vegas. Let's see, who will be arrested before 2027? These are all names I do not know, so I think this actually has, like, a foreign country in mind here, but, oh, let's see, highest odds here are John Brennan, um, and Mahmoud Khalil, James Clapper, Adam Schiff is on there. I think that's wishful thinking. I don't know why he would be arrested. Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is the, activist girl who goes around to different, climate issues, and she actively protests to the point that she does get arrested. This is kind of something she attempts to do on a regular basis. Yeah, if there's some kind of, natural disaster or, like, environmental situation where they're trying to take over a pipeline or something, the odds are actually way more likely, I think, than 30% that she does get arrested. But I think we also need to make sure she's not currently in jail for something else. Um, James Comey, I doubt that. Bill Clinton, probably a big no. Let's see what else here on the trending page. I'm trying to keep the screen smaller for you guys so that we can see what's next. Let's see, remove from my watch list. Let's see, yeah, Dallas and Las Vegas. And then here's some other like kind of trending topics. So, will gold outperform Bitcoin this year? It was looking like the answer was no, and Bitcoin was obviously gonna do great, but now it is obvious that gold, I think has been kicking Bitcoin's ass. We can actually go to TradingView to check. The other thing I've thought about doing, and you guys are gonna have to let me know if you want me to do this, is that it's fairly easy to run these bets through, um, like AI, for instance, and I think that would absolutely be worth taking a look on AI to see what AI thinks if these bets are winnable or what the strategy is there. Okay, so let's see. Bitcoin's deal and price and performance over the last year. Um, so it's up 3.93% for the year. And I think we can actually see gold. Yeah. But in 1 year, I don't think this chart is right. Son of a the fucking coin market cap. Come on. All right. We can also Google this. How much is gold up for the year? Gold is up more than 40% in 2025, making it its best year since 1979. How much is Bitcoin up for the year? I do love this feature now, this search assist here on the Chrome tab. It is down 12% from its price a week ago, but from a year ago, it looks like 3%. So again, just like we talked about last week, you're gonna have to look at that December 31st to December 31st price, but it does look like gold is actually gonna get it done. I'm sure the gold people are incredibly happy about this. You guys have been waiting on this for a very long time. So congratulations, you win this round. Probably not the war, but you definitely win. You win the battle for sure. Okay, so let's go to a couple topics here. And I don't even have an opinion on whatever this topic is. I just need to address the elephant in the room. This site is Kalshi. It is a prediction market platform. It is mainly for fiat, and you can deposit some crypto and stable coins. But here is this prediction market for: will the cap on gambling loss reduction be repealed this year? I'm not even going to talk about what the outcome is and what the possibility is. I just want to talk about the sheer fact that you can now gamble on gambling. We really need to stop like it's like a funhouse mirror of it just kind of repeating itself and the rippling of the gambling here. This has over $2 million in volume. Over $2 million has been gambled on whether or not the cap on gambling loss reduction will be repealed. You guys have lost your mind. So, if the bill that removes changes on the gambling tax provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act becomes law before January 1st, then the market resolves to yes. Like, okay. Okay. I'm trying to find the comments for this because there are okay. Here's a guy. No, it's not going to happen. It probably won't even happen next year. Somebody acknowledges the elephant in the room that the government has reopened. Can the government even work this fast? That's a real bet, actually. This is going to destroy the World Series of Poker. There's no way that Caesars lets this happen. This is really a fair point that gambling commissions and casinos are companies with a lot of money, and they therefore can lobby to probably make sure that this does or does not go their way. And it's more likely that it does, because this greasing the wheels is how all of this kind of happens, right? Everyone knows this is a bad decision, even the CEO of Kalshi, which stands to benefit massively from whale gambling flow going to sports books to prediction markets to avoid these taxes. He agrees that this legislation makes no economic sense whatsoever. Hopefully, Congress can do something right for once and repeal this. The math on the 90% is so much crazier than it initially seems. It will be brutal for tax-paying poker players, slots players, and many others. I suspect that the tax pros in DC are getting smart on this. Now we just need the government to reopen. Again, I don't have an opinion on this because I don't play poker or slot machines. But the gambling on the gambling. This is what I couldn't get over when I saw this. All right. So let's talk about some main financial news here. And although it's kind of boring, I do think it greatly affects the crypto market. Will Jerome Powell, who is the head of the Federal Reserve, will he be out as chair? And it's more of an issue of when and not really a bet about if. So the highest odds right now have him out before May of 2026. Before the end of the year, I highly doubt it. But part of the reason that the stock market has really been taking a hit, and I think some of the rumored reason that the crypto market is taking a hit is because it's now looking like we will not be getting a rate cut in December. We did get one in November, and it did not have the effect that we were hoping for, which always is number go up. I don't think anyone is ever hoping for the market to crash unless you have some short orders placed. And I think there's been a lot of discourse and a lot of back and forth between Trump and Powell, and Trump saying that Powell has waited too long at this point for the Federal Reserve to enact these rate cuts and start quantitative easing, and that is essentially hurting the economy. So, will Jerome Powell be out before the highest likely odds of May of 2026? And this has a 13% chance. There's also a chance of no. I heard there was some rumor going around that he was considering retiring. So is it possible that he actually retires before May? I think that there's actually decent odds of this happening. Um, or and in the effect or in the event that we do not get this rate cut in December and things start to look worse and worse as far as the economy is concerned, I think there might be an effect of the rabble getting loud enough and crazy enough that might actually force some type of change at the Federal Reserve. Trump cannot fire Jerome Powell. That's not how that works. The Fed is kind of an independently run body within the government. So Trump actually has like no direct influence on who the chairman is or how long they're there, and he cannot step in and say, okay, well, let's fire this person and let me put someone in place. He has no authority to actually do that. um but do I think that there could be enough of an uproar that would piss Jerome Powell off enough to where he finally leaves before May if we don't get a rate cut in December or we don't start seeing some better quantitative easing come into effect? Yeah, I do think that that is likely. So, just an interesting bet. It's not one of these insanely long ones where you would have to wait a long time to see your money come to fruition here. So I think it's definitely worth paying attention to. Here's the other one that I wanted to take a look at. Here's the number one searched person on Google this year. $5 million worth of volume. And we're going to talk about the the top 3 here. And I really don't understand this. So the highest searched person right now, the highest odds at 41% is Pope Leo. Pope Leo is the first, I believe, the first American pope. He hails from Chicago, and I'm sure there were certainly a ton and a huge volume of Google searches about him when this was announced, I think earlier this year, that he would be the next pope. A ton of people have searched Bianca Censori. If you do not know who this is, she is Kanye West's wife, and she is more probably known in pictures for the fact that she is usually wearing not much at all. I think there's very few places on this woman's body that the rest of us have not already seen in photos, at this point, basically against our will. It's been all over social media. Every time they have gone out and worn something absolutely insane, you can see every crevice of this woman's body. Um, and I think that's might be one of the reasons she's up there because essentially when you Google her name, it's like searching for free pornographic material. It's just it's all out there all the time for you to see. So do I think a horde of 12-year-old boys are Googling her? Maybe. And then you have Donald Trump in 3rd and Zohran Mamdani up 7% in 4th place. There's no way that Jimmy Kimmel actually is one of the top people, let alone the top. Um, so let's talk about this here because then I went to trending. And granted, this just says the past 12 months. Um, but I threw up Pope Leo, Donald Trump, and Bianca Censori. Here's Donald Trump's graph. And this is January 19th to the 25th, so this is Inauguration Day. Uh, the yellow is Bianca Censori, so God only knows what she did here. And then here is, let's see, May 4th, the day that Pope Leo was, called up to become the Pope, and everybody it was announced that he was going to become the Pope. I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding why Trump is down here and why Pope Leo is up here when the actual Google trend that is showing the spike in his name and the searches, what are we doing? What is happening? Again, I find these random bets, right? Like the Taylor Swift and the Billboard thing. I feel like that was rigged. And there's the top Spotify artist thing for Bad Bunny right now. I think that's rigged. But the number one search person on Google this year, it's the Pope. Now, I'm not trying to be the ugly American and the frog in the well and believe that Donald Trump is that widely known around the world and in competition with the leader of the Catholic Church. No, I'm not that, blinded by my own Americanism here. But if you look at this chart, please tell me here's his highest spike for the year, and then here's Trump's. What are we doing? Why? Why is Pope Leo the highest on this list? I don't understand this right now. I don't know, guys. I know we use this phrase. I'm gonna use it, and I'm just gonna use it with caution. This is not financial advice, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, this might be free money. This might to bet on Trump being the number one search. Nothing is free money. This is not financial advice. We're going to put this up. Absolutely nothing in life is free. But I'm just letting you know, this might be free money. Just saying. Okay. So something super fun. Yeah, we have a comment. I never thought that Bianca would have made the list. I don't understand this one either. I'm actually very shocked to see her up higher than the mayor of New York City, who, by the way, became like kind of a very controversial topic as well. He's leading the biggest city in the country. Um, it obviously got a ton of attention from both sides, good and bad. I think the soonest search after his name was also like, what is socialism? And there are people who don't understand, they're looking up his platforms, his interests, whatever his campaign is for. He's going to be the mayor of the largest city in the country that influences so much of what the rest of the country is doing. We have Wall Street, we have so many major businesses, billionaires, people who live in New York City that really kind of affect the general fabric of America in a large way compared to Bianca Censori, who is she's named as an Australian fashion designer. I didn't even know she was Australian because I have never heard her speak because I intimately know apparently the shape of her boobs better than I know anything about the sound of her voice. I have no idea what she sounds like, but I definitely know what her boobs look like because that is the way she has been presented into the popular world with paparazzi and photos on the arm of her husband. Holy Jesus. Okay, moving on. Speaking of seeing people's boobs, we're gonna go to this lovely piece of dating advice by Bill Ackman. So Bill Ackman, if you do not know who he gained a lot of social media attention last year because he actually kind of went to war with a shitty like online publication called Business Insider. Business Insider is really known for doing a lot of hit pieces on people. Dave Portnoy is one who they really kind of combatively went back and forth legally as well. And there are a lot of public figures that are really just not taking the shit anymore. Bill Ackman became one of those people. Bill Ackman is very handsome. He is a 6'2" billionaire, and his wife is so beautiful. She's also incredibly intelligent. I think she did like PhD research and was a teacher at an Ivy League school. And she is so beautiful that she at one point was rumored, falsely apparently, but rumored to have dated Brad Pitt. Bill Ackman gave some dating advice. Okay, to the young, he says his next generation's happiness and population replacement rates. This is his advice. I hear from many young men that they find it difficult to meet young women in public setting. In other words, the online culture has destroyed the ability to spontaneously meet strangers. As such, I thought I would share a few words that I used in my youth to meet someone that I found compelling. I would ask, "May I meet you?" before engaging further in a conversation. I almost never got a no. Really, 6'2" handsome billionaire man, you never received a no? Color me shocked. It inevitably enabled the opportunity for a further conversation. I met a lot of really interesting people this way. I think the combination of proper grammar and politeness was the key to its effectiveness. You might give it a try. And yes, I think it should also work for women seeking men as well as same sex interactions. Okay, first of all, women could walk up to men and say absolutely anything, and they will still just be so shocked that a woman approached them and spoke to them that they won't care what this woman said. Um, so I need to address this because then it turned into a viral campaign. So here's Nick O'Neill, who is, I think he's the co-founder of Bodagos. He went viral for his Choose Rich videos like a year or two ago. And here he is on the subway filming a video with this "May I meet you" dating method. Um, Oh, and Bill has a follow-up here. I failed to mention that this works much more effectively when you are moving. So on subways, elevators, escalators, airplanes, buses, and even walking down the street, it's more effective. What? So okay, again, 6'2" billionaire advice. And now, all of this content of, "May I meet you" has come up here. We have all of these chats, all of these women, these are probably not women using this tactic, by the way, this is probably men. And here's Greg. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so he DM'd Sydney Sweeney directly if her DMs are open. Um, Hot girl, "May I meet you? May I meet you?" with this OJ meme. Love the memes that came out of this. But Um, I'm not a 6'2" billionaire. I'm just a woman who the last time I was single, I don't think Uber was a thing. But let me give you a little advice here because I was talking to some male friends and coworkers on the BSCN team before we started the stream, and they said that the fear of rejection and fear of talking to women was actually something that is still so terrifying. And it was just awful when they were single. Let me explain something. Men might be terrified to go speak to a woman, but I promise you, women are far more terrified of something physically going wrong in the interaction with a man than a man should ever be of the fear of rejection. You are scared of an emotional effect. We are scared of a physical, horrible outcome because we have watched one too many true crime Dateline episodes where we went for a run, we said yes to the wrong person, or some guy just, walked up and decided that was it. So I just think that that needs to be taken into account when you approach a woman. I understand the point of this "May I meet you" idea. This is not threatening at all. This is, it's it would depend on how you would deliver it, and it will always depend on whether or not you are handsome, if you have, like, weird, creepy intentions, your physical appearance when you are meeting somebody in person or you're just seeing a photo of them. Obviously, like it or not, it does actually, uh, play into somebody's initial impression of you, of their opinion. So, all of these things are still gonna matter, and I don't think that "May I meet you" is going to really make the difference, and I love Bill Ackman. I think he's actually, like, a very good follow, and he's a very interesting person. He's very well educated, and, he was one of the first Democrats to really have, like, kind of a think for yourself moment, around the time that it became very clear that Biden could not run for office again. So, um, yeah, love Bill, but I don't think that this advice is gonna be what gets it done with the generation they're not drinking, they're not going out to bars, they're not looking to meet people. These are kids who got told they had to wear a mask and sit several feet from each other in school. Like, this is a psyop conditioned level of, like, don't talk to people you don't know. And overcoming that is really gonna take a lot for this next generation, and I feel terrible, but maybe you need a millennial friend who's gonna take you to a bar, and they're gonna get you a little liquid couraged, a little drunk, and, you're gonna find that lack of inhibition is finally gonna be something that you can be like, "Oh, yeah, maybe I can just I don't give a shit enough. I'm gonna finally approach this person because I don't care what this is gonna be like." But here, as a woman, here's my most valuable tip. When you are approaching a woman that you actually wanna talk to, it would be a much more effective strategy to find a third party, a third person thing in the room, at the park, wherever you are. So you need to be obviously, hopefully, around a lot of other people. You could even be in a doctor's office. I don't care if you use ChatGPT for this, and you tell ChatGPT, "I am in the waiting room at a doctor's office. I have noticed, whatever it is, whether we're like waiting too long or the receptionist has been kind of mean or something, but find a third person situation to start making fun of. Ask ChatGPT if you can't think of one to come up with 10 different funny and kind of interesting like one-liners about whatever the situation is. And then you approach this woman with whatever the joke is. Something like, "God, I'm here for, whatever my problem is, but I swear if I wait any longer, I'm just gonna die, and then I won't need to be a patient anymore." This is just off of the top of my head. This would make the woman laugh. Pretty much all you have to do in a first date setting or an initial interaction is, make her laugh and don't be a creep. And if you have taken the attention off of yourself, off of her, and you have made fun of something in your general awareness, it shows that you have some situational awareness, which we appreciate because you need to be on guard as number one protector in the world. And two, you have a sense of humor. You weren't looking to make a comment to her, "Oh, I like your sweater. You don't like my sweater, you like my tits." Don't come up with a comment, we see right through that. But I swear to you, a joke about your surroundings is way better than a "May I meet you" every single time. You can ease your way into "May I meet you," um, but the real lesson is that if you are a 6'2" billionaire, you will have no problems, and you can say absolutely anything you want to probably anyone. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. As always, nothing is financial advice. Here's my last piece of advice for the day. I can't even find it here. We're gonna pull this up. Um, because we talked about this. Uh Whatever this thing is, Apple came out with I'm just gonna have to go to X to find this. Apple what is this thing called now? Apple, belt case holder? If we can even find this stupid thing there it is. Oh my god, what is this? This just looks like a loose vagina. Like, what is this? It's a weird sock that you put your phone in. It looks like a karate belt, maybe? It's like all the shades of a karate belt. And this is how you're supposed to use it. It what the fuck? I don't even know if this is real. It's somewhere between 150 and $230. If you spend money on this shit, you have failed the litmus test, okay? The money doesn't mean anything to you. It clearly that is a week's worth of groceries for a family. $230 to wear a terrible sock? I don't know, guys. I don't know what's if Steve Jobs could see them now, I think he would find this absolutely fucking absurd. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up for the day. As usual, I'm Jackie Dutton. Thank you for watching Let Her Cook. On Wednesday, we will be making, per request, chili and cornbread. So you'll have to tune in to see how I do that. I think we did finally settle this debate that beans absolutely do belong in chili. I don't know what is wrong with Texas, but they are vehemently against beans and chili. So we're gonna add the beans because we're not in Texas. Um, yeah, make sure you tune in on Wednesday at 12 p.m. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. It's been great. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.